It's enough time. I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna read this from the perspective of someone who's reading the patch notes for the first time. Every 4 turns that discover a Darkwing Prize. What the fuck? What the absolute fuck? Oh, no swear words. I'm sorry, but this hero, what? All right, until for the next month and a half, I can absolutely confirm that this hero, this hero is SS tier. Please pick this up at all costs. Like, it's insane. Imagine double evolving tavern, right? You're on tier 5, double evolving tavern. You find like 2 or 3 tier 4 units. You just zap it twice and you've got a whole board of tier 6s. Like, you're significantly ahead of everyone else. It's insane. Double on the house or whatever. Like, turn 8 is an absolutely busted turn right now, thanks to actually, I'm just turn this music off while I'm talking. Yeah, turn 8 is an absolutely busted turn right now, thanks to the prize specifically, and the fact that it just power spikes you without like punishing you in any way for leveling. So it's just insane that you get this here. I think it's a great ad for people who love the tickets, so that you can keep it in the game. But man, until the tickets are gone, it's pretty ridiculous to get two. Like, even on the turn 4 prize, imagine just getting the flag twice. Who can beat you? Like, no one. No one for the next 3 or 4 turns with literally just a turn 4 prize. It's insane. Yeah, maybe just discover do a gachi, right? Or get an extra tier 1 unit over everyone else plus on the flag to the side. It's insane. It will do it according to the current tier. So you get the tier 4 turn 4 turn 8. It's still probably going to be quite good when the prizes are gone because the meta will slow down, assuming they just like shift it back to what it was before without any other like new ticket kind of meta added to it. Which means that you'll get to turn 12 a lot more regularly, so you'll have access to ice block and stuff like that. And getting to turn 16 might be like more likely too, and then getting access to, the dog bone or like braggart and stuff like that. Like, it's gonna be a really good hero generally, but it's SS right now, and it's probably gonna be like, I'd say A tier after the prizes are gone, because it's still just a really strong card, really strong mechanic. Greybow, love it. Oh my god, this is so strong. Another like I'm gonna say a top A tier rather than S tier. Maybe S tier with beasts, and then like A tier with just mechs available, because well, now your Mama Bear is completely protected, right? You can do the like beast synergy comp and just cycle the beast spawners like left, 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 left. Like anything that can force the enemy to attack in a particular pattern that you want them to is just busted. That's why Elysia's so strong. Elysia shouldn't exist, but it does, so whatever. Like the point of the taunt mechanic was so that you could direct your opponent's attacks into a particular location. So the fact that Elysia then gets to bypass that and force it again is just like kind of like whatever. You can low roll. Well, you can't low roll with 2 prizes in the prize wall if that's what you're talking about. But I guess you can without the second prize. With like 2 prizes, it's impossible to low roll. Like, imagine getting the 2 coins on turn 8, right? Just get the coin twice. Or you get like steal your opponent's minions twice, or like I don't know, Gruul's the +2/+2 twice. Like getting +4/+4 every turn is pretty solid. Yeah, sorry, just come back to this. You can also never get the good prize. It seems neat tool community optimizes its cancer. Yeah, Greybow, yeah. So yeah, like I mean I love the hero designs, but it's just ridiculous that this is gonna happen. I have to pick this every time it shows up. But I do like it when the game is unbalanced a little bit, where a hero comes out, it's absolutely busted, and just like 100% wins the meta until it gets nerfed. So I guess it's just 1 month of like overbearing ticketers destroying everyone. Classic pay to win. But yeah, Greybow is so good. These two are just such good heroes. I like the design too. I think this might get nerfed to be +1/+1 and taunt rather than +1/+2 as well. Soul Devourer. Neat. I've been wanting Void Terror in the game for so long. Remove it to gain its stats and free gold. Like anything that can eat stats from other minions, like next spot nearby. Ideally, I wanted it to trigger Death Rattles too, but it says remove. So it's just going to gain the stats without actually triggering Death Rattle, which is sad. Um, should be one of his every games. Yeah, yeah, totally agree. You like it? Well, I like these two, sure, sure. I like these two, and I like this minion because like what the way you're going to be playing Soul Devourer is basically like if you when you power level to 3 on turn 3 and you see a Soul Devourer and the world's worst demon imp gang boss or whatever, you just imp gang boss, pick it up, put this one. Now you have like a 5/7, which is a real stat line. Like that's like tier 4, tier 5 strong. So you just do that, and then you're pretty godly. So this is a really great card for power skipping to tier 3 on. Hey, Tugboat, thanks so much for the sub. Demon's finally interesting you. I remember the Captain Hooktusk days. I still have nightmares. Yeah, Hooktusk is probably my most MMR gaining hero in like the history of like BGs. Like I got it so often, and I like crushed out like 5,000 MMR before they nerfed it. Do you think you'll get the free tombs as well when eating Ring Matron and Soul Devour? No, you won't get any death rattles with this ability. So that's the issue. Like, I wish you could, because you could trigger like Void Lord to get those free 1/3s and just have like a mass amount of gold that you can sell. But then there's the point that like, if that's how it works, and we know that if you get the 1/1 token from Scallywag, you can steal that as Rafam. But if you play that 1/1 token, it attacks something in the shop straight away. So, because we know that the mechanics work like that, if you could trigger the death rattle of demons and you had Soul Juggler on the board, you would destroy the demons, like the minions in the shop. So, like, obviously, like instead of like making the game work properly, they're just like screw that, just remove it. Don't have the death rattle. Like, it's too much work. The coding's too hard. Greybow probably unplayable because they add a 3-second animation. Oh my god, you're totally right. You're totally right. Also, Scallywag Exodia comp with Greybow. Now everything that comes out of it has taunt. How good is that? Then you only need a single Scallywag taunted, right? And then you just have like the minions that come out of it taunted. So you don't have to like, yeah, it's good. It's great. Mechs are great too, obviously, because you can just like direct the attacks and get your refreshes off perfectly. Ring Matron. Oh yeah, sorry. I was saying it's Soul Devourer is a great like tier 3 skipper, but the other thing that you'll be doing Soul Devourer is if you get one Soul Devourer, you'll pick up every Soul Devourer you see from that point and use it to just eat itself, right? So it's just going to be a free +3/+3 to itself every time you see it, like for 0 gold because you get the money back. So that's pretty much all you'll be doing with it. You get one Soul Devourer, it may end up being a permanent comp by like constantly cycling through it. Balance Heroes of Animations 5 head. Eagles with Taunt sounds strong too. Yeah, yeah, totally. Ring Matron. It's nice to have a good tier 4 taunt. It's basically Savannah High main, like a better Savannah High main. It's a demon. This is obviously them trying to push the whole like summon demons guy, right? Which is like, okay, it's like I get it, this is good demon synergy. They needed a bit more than what they had, like for the archetype that they are. Like they don't need end game. They're kind of meant to be like this early mid game into like a little bit of late mid game and then taper off at the end game. That's meant to be their style. And then I see this here, Floating Watch has been removed from the Battlegrounds minion pool, and I'm just furious. I'm absolutely furious. I'm like, I get it. I get it, Blizz. You want to push demons a bit more. You want to push this alternate path to demons, which is summoning demons just to get +1/+1 stats. And then this piece of trash update right here shows up. Floating Watch has been removed from the Battlegrounds minion pool. Like, what? What? Like, oh my. Oh, oh. The only thing that makes demons viable, that they have one pathway. It's Wrath Weaver into more Wrath Weavers, into a bunch of demons, you take like 20 plus damage, you get to tier 4, and you discover the only good, like, the only reason you ever discover a tier 4 unit, by the way, and don't discover tier 4 units. It's an absolute rubbish idea. I know Asmo does it all the time, but it's bad and he shouldn't. He should be discovering tier 5 and tier 6. You should sacrifice your entire life pool to find a tier 5 over finding a tier 4, right? But in the single scenario that you are playing demons, right? That is you're playing demons and pirates are also available, and you have two Wrath Weavers, and you're tripling that Wrath Weaver, and it's tier 3. In that individual scenario, you may discover a tier 4, and at that point, it can be Floating Watcher. That's the only thing you're allowed to discover or try to discover at tier 4. That's gone now. Like, what? What? What is this? Like, the alternate. That's the point I'm sure we're watching it. The alternative demon you're looking for now is that like dumb Big Fernal, right? A 4/4. But like the moment you play it, it gives you nothing. It's a 4/4, and there's like its growth rate is +1/+1. You know, like the only way you can get minions that can grow it now, like I guess with Ring Matron, other tier 4 units. But generally it was Void Lord, which is a tier 5, and if you're discovering tier 5s, you don't even want a Void Lord, right? Unless you're like a Soul Juggler comp, which you're not doing if you're big demons. That's cardinal rule number one when you're playing big demons is you do not play Soul Juggler while you're playing big demons. They are two different comps. The moment you try to put the two together, you just lose because you don't have the space to play it. Even build Watcher, Pinkman, Baron, Selfless? Yeah, that's right. There is one specific in-game demon build, and they've removed it. But before that, they had no credibility as a comp, right? Like without Floating Watcher. When do you see a single Wrathweaver get to the end? And it's just like, wow, that's great. I didn't need a Floating Watcher. It was so easy to build this. Like, you need Mal'Ganis to do that. You need a tier 5 demon and a very specific set of circumstances to allow you to get to that. Like most of the time, you just die. Juggler needs to deal like full base damage. No, no, they can't. They can't increase the base damage for Juggler. Like free damage is good. 4 damage is busted, and it would clean out the mid game too much. Like you wouldn't be able to do anything against it. It'd be way too oppressive at 4. Unfortunately, it's the way power creep happened. 3 was the ideal spot for jugglers, and then elementals and like massive stat gains and prizes and blah blah blah. Like all that stuff kind of just like blasted juggler out of the way. It's also like the way heroes are as well. Like it allows them to get to tier 6 for the high health minions faster than they used to be able to do. It used to be risky to go to tier 5 on like turn 8, right? It was like a massive risk you took every time you did it. I was like, oh, like I should stay here at tier 4, but like I'm gonna take the risk and go to tier 5 and hope I only take like 10 plus damage. And like now it's like if you don't go to tier 5, you're just gonna die. Like you're just dead by the next turn anyway. You might be dead on turn 8 and you're still not tier 5. Um, but yeah, so I guess like I don't even know where does Wrathweaver fit in all this. Where does Wrathweaver fit now that Floating Watch is gone? Like it, they've cemented the early game that demons have been taking over in the last like month or so of the patch. Yeah, why'd they remove Floating Watcher? Right? Right? Disgusting. Disgusting. I'm surprised they removed that issue would be a concern again. Yeah, it might be. It might be. um, But yeah, so like in the last month, Wrath Weavers or the Demon comp have been cementing the early mid game by having a 1/3 that scales a little bit with demons and stuff, and you could just have like a pink guy that you could throw away at any point. Because it just turns into like a 3/5 and a 5/7 really fast, and then they can like 2-for-1 minimum, and then 3-for-1 trades most of the time. So now that's what they've still got, but with no in-game viability, pretty much. Like honestly, this demon summoning comp is alternative to even like a Wrathweaver comp. Like you don't need Wrathweavers to do demon summoning stuff. And that's what it feels like. It feels like it's meant to be an alternate pathway from Wrathweaver. Like rather than the Wrathweaver floating watcher Baron synergy that it already existed that allowed you to go down a single line of like early, mid, late game. Now it feels like they've got here's the Wrathweaver comp to do what you've been doing before when you don't actually want to play demons and you just want to lose 10 health early game. And then alternatively, you power level to 4 for some reason, decided Big Fernal was a good pick for like some really dumb idiot reason, and then picked up a Ring Matron next to it, and now you're trying to get some like +2/+2 scaling going on per turn, where it's just like. But also, you may not have enough space to get the +2/+2 because it's a taunt with 6/4 and you're playing 7 minions, and it's like you're not even getting maximum value out of your +1/+1. It's just like. Mm. Just eat the Wrathweaver, stay in demon mode. This only eats demons, guys. Like, if you're talking about Soul Devourer, it's just demons. Wrathweaver is not a demon. So you have a juggler build with Tauntedance and Devour and Pivot with Econ. Yeah, sure, I guess. I, I guess. Yeah, so like whatever. I think this is a good addition to the game. I think this is an interesting card to put in. Floating Watch has been removed from the Battlegrounds mini pool. Sorry, I forgot the other thing that made me furious about Floating Watcher has been removed from the Battlegrounds mini pool is the fact that Junkbot gets to stay and Floating Watcher is gone. What is this outrage? I'm so mad at Blizzard. How is Junkbot above Floating Watcher in the list of heroes that should stay? What if this and is like, hey, we need to get rid of some minions. What do you think? So, Floating Watcher could go. Adding a couple demons, well, it's like Imp Gang Boss could have gone, Imp Gang Boss is like the worst minion of the game right after Junkbot, Like every time you play Imp Gang Boss, you're just sad. You're sad, you feel bad about yourself. You play it because you might get a 1-1 out of it. You're like, oh, like a 2-4 and a 1-1, like that's what I'm working with. I t- if you have to choose between Imp Gang Boss and the imprisoned guy, like the free for 1-1, you're torn. It's just like I know Imp Gang Boss, it's a tier 3 unit, but the free with a 1-1 inside it is probably just better at tier 2. Just get rid of it. You need to get rid of the demon, get rid of Imp Gang Boss. Floating Watcher. Junkbot, oh god. I would have been less mad if Junkbot went out with him, If I was just like, and we'll get rid of Junkbot. And we will get rid of Junk. It's a straight up meme, right? It must be. Blizzard must be memeing about it. There's a guy in Blizzard headquarters who's just cracking up because every patch, every single patch, they remove minions and Junkbot stays, and they're just like, haha, got him. Got him. There's a guy doing the maniacal laughter in the background. He's laughing. These idiots are discovering junk bots in 2021. Ooh. And they need to bring Pogo back? No, they have to remove Jandis if they want Pogo back. Unfortunately, it's too brain dead of a line for Jandis. It's too easy to just instantly win. Like, I'm pretty sure there's stats out there that shows if you play Pogos with Jandis, you win. Right? You just get a guaranteed first place, and that's too broken. So they made the choice at the time. It was they either had to nerf Jandis, remove Jandis, or get rid of Pogos, and they chose Pogos at the time. So it's just like it made sense. It made sense to get rid of Pogos, but like it was pretty sad for every other hero that played Pogos, like Shutterwalk and Bran and and the Roll 7 girl. Like they were all fun. It was such a fun alternative build, but yeah, just doesn't work now. Probably have some rule about how many demons they need per tier. Do they have a rule about how many junk bots they should have at tier 5? Is that too? Some guy usually switched me from 3 to 2. It's like, it's taking junk bot out. Why is it the junk bot is worse than Wagtalk or Hyena? Right? Right? Like Hyena gets more value than Junkbot does. Like you turn Hyena into a 6/6 with Mama Bear, right? And you're happy with that. You're like, heck yeah. Where does Junkbot go? It goes to nowhere. Everything that buffs the mechs, like Divine Shield Taunt, the free 1/1 guys, like you can't buff the Junkbot because it's better for it to be on other units because it then becomes a target for itself, right? So it has no scaling and it's a tier 5 unit and it's supposed to be like a standalone or a direction card, which is what tier 5 is meant to be. Just from a design standpoint, it's rubbish. Like regardless of the fact that it's terrible as a card, just design wise, it doesn't fit in what tier 5 is meant to be. Oh, you can buff junk now. Okay, that was my rant. That was my rant. This patch made me furious. I like what this is. Nothing should be S tier. It's a bit silly. Things should be S tier at all. Like if there's S tier, there should be a lot of S tier. But like this is just outrageous. Whatever. First pick every time. Solid second pick every time. Like, I might still pick like Omu and Elisa over Greybow, but you pick Ticketus. Well, I'll probably still do Elise for a bit because I'm too scared to dive deep in for Ticketus. But If it's not at least Omu, it's 100% Ticketus. And after about a week of Ticketus, I might just 100% Ticketus over it first. Oh man, save that 10 times fast. That's so hard. And Greybow is great design. I like this as a card. I think it's a bit too powerful. Um, it really like you get Scallywag on turn one, right? You just win every fight for the next 2 or 3 turns because it's a 2-1 with a 2-3 inside of it. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. Whatever. This cleans up tier 3 a little bit, but tier 3 is overloaded with too many cards, and Ring Matron just a better Hyena, Savannah Jaime, so skipping to tier 4 becomes better too. And this is rubbish and shouldn't happen, and Junkbot is the worst and it should be gone. That's my review. Thank you.